Okay, so we've talked about officiating in the UFL on the show before, but we need to talk about it again because of what has happened in the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
So last night there was a game between Archers and Air Force where both of the coaches were sent off, and they didn't leave the area, and the game had to be stopped for quite a while until they're able to remove them from the premises. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, at least, from a bigger picture standpoint, at least the sport is, gaining more interest. It's becoming more interesting. It's becoming more emotional. The fans are going at it themselves. Because we were there last night in the stands. You were wow. Yeah, it feels like the emotional investment for both the followers of both clubs is strong. Although there is a bit of concern, as you have mentioned, with regard to coaches and managers disagreeing with the officials, diba? Kasi even when these club officials were sent off already from the playing pitch, they were in the stands, pero they were still giving directions to the players, or sometimes even criticizing the officials. So it's a bit, coming from an outsider's perspective, I don't know, maybe it's becoming more interesting. I mean, for whatever it's worth. So I guess it's up to the league to maybe I don't know, be stricter or something.
Put more guidelines and rules into that. Anto, you were playing that Air Force Loyola game wherein James got sent off. It was heated. There were tackles all around. The crowd was really getting involved. What's it like being in there and the officiating not being as stellar?
I'll try to be as objective as possible. Actually, during the start of the game, I think the first 15 minutes, I could say that some of the calls were favoring us, favoring Loyola. And then when that happened, some of the Air Force players started threatening the referees, started complaining. They were blasting the referee. I wouldn't mention anymore how they addressed the referee, but it was really bad. I mean, if I was the referee, I should have put a stop on that right away. So that was a problem. He let it go on. He didn't issue any cards. So the game became out of hand. And then after that, I felt that he was starting to make calls for the Air Force. And then, there were a lot of bad tackles. And then there weren't, I couldn't remember if there were any yellow cards issued to the Air Force players. Regarding James, the incident with James, I didn't see how it happened. But based on the stories, probably it could only be a yellow card. It wasn't a
Red
serious
card
attack,
worthy.
or it wasn't meant to hurt. It was
He was going after the
basically
ball.
a nudge. It was an off the ball
Okay.
play. It was a nudge. And then the Air Force defender made the most out of it. So there. And also James. But the officiating was terrible during that game, mainly because the referee got intimidated. So that's my take on it.
To be fair though, I think it's becoming a global issue, diba?
It is.
Even in the Manchester United game last night against Aston Villa, medyo kine-question din nila diba? Si Young, nag-iinarte daw, diba? I mean, it is.
And
Diving
there's
has
another
been
game also that they're reviving the talks about the goal line technology, because it really didn't look like it was in, but it was called the goal. So this is it's true. It's a global problem, and even across the sport, across sports. Even basketball, you see the semifinals now in the PBA, they're just going at it like yes. So it's getting out of control, but you can really see how much passion the players are putting into it, and how the fans are also reacting. So we talked about officiating. What would you say would be the immediate steps that the league has to take to improve this, coming from the 2 weeks of questionable officiating and all that?
I think the best approach, immediate approach, would be, I think it has to be two ways. We have to educate the players, the clubs, the coaches, on how to respect the laws of the game, on how to address bad calls. Kasi ako, I believe, as a player and as a coach, maybe less than 1% can one call change the outcome of the game. For me, football is 90 minutes. You have 90 minutes to win the match or get a result from the match. So players, coaches, and clubs have to learn how to accept bad calls. It's as simple as that. And then on the other side naman, regarding officiating, there has to be continuous assessment of referees. The problem with our system right now is if there's one referee who has made some bad calls during a particular match, I don't think
they get
PFF or the NCFA get
there's no review.
Yes. So that's a problem because there's no evaluation, there's no assessment. So these referees can just say, oh, it's okay if I make bad calls because I won't get sanctioned or punished.
There's no correction.
Accountability.
How's the pool of referees? Are there a lot of
There
referees?
aren't too many.
There aren't too many. Like, I know, I see some of them and on TV and I'm like, teka lang, when I was mga 12, they were the referee in my weekend
And
games.
one problem also is it's the league or the head of the referees committee. They assign referees who have certain connections
with the teams
a
concerned.
particular
Because
team.
we are it's still such a small community.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
exactly, and we have a very small pool of
Referees.
But it can be avoided.
Yes.
The choosing of the referees.
Yes, I
assignment.
mean, you're not supposed to choose an Ilonggo referee to officiate a match involving Stallions and some other team.
Right.
Diba?
Right,
So
right, right.
even if the referee is really unbiased, you can help
But
prevent people from thinking otherwise.
Maybe as the sport is growing, di ba? Baka also the development of the officials, di ba? Should also be looked into. Kasi it's nice that we're, all for improving and developing the game itself. But of course, these technical stuff, baka lang it falls by the wayside. Maybe it's something
it
also
all has to come together.
Yes.
I remember which team was it? After a really bad game, they put out like an ad. For, I think Nomads.
Yeah. Na there's
They
an
put out-
opening
There's
for
an opening for referees, but
only blind guys daw need to apply something like it's a bit overboard, but well, I mean,
With that kind of behavior, that should be addressed.
yes.
So there,
The league
like the
shouldn't
UFL
tolerate
as a league should come up with more guidelines, and I mean the PBA now, they're actually, like, when I watch games, they're calling for developing referees, so they're looking for applicants. Maybe this is a profession that other people might be interested in.
That's right.
And they just don't know that there is that need for
right.
this
Actually, way
job.
back in 2005, 2006, the PFF was starting to recognize the need for referees who have finished college, at least, or professionals, because in that way, I have nothing against people who did finish college, but their self-esteem, their confidence is better compared to the other referees who haven't finished school. So that comes with eliciting respect, diba? Like, for example, itong what happened between Air Force and Loyola. Some Air Force players started threatening the referee. If he felt that he was really in control, he was worth honoring and respecting, then he could have easily shown
Carded right away.
Right away.
So there. So this is our shout out to the league. We can improve officiating, and it's up to you to start now.